What is up, guys? Welcome in here to Rover Sports. We are live here on multiple platforms today, and we are talking about recruiting. We are talking about the National Football League. We are talking about the Bills, the 49ers. Tom Coughlin ends up getting fired. Tom Coughlin gets fired from the Jacksonville Jaguars, so everybody is free to come on in here into the show. I appreciate everybody that is here. We are live on Facebook. We are live on Twitter. We are live on YouTube.com. So it's really good to be doing this show. Jeremy Hansman comments in and says, "Hey Chris, how are you doing?" Senor in the crib. It's great to see you, man. Great to see you. Senor says howdy. It's good. Let's do it all. All righty, guys. We got 8 people in here. You might as well start the damn show, right? You might as well start the gosh damn show. So, first off, we could talk about Tom Coughlin getting fired from the Jacksonville Jaguars. That happened yesterday. So Tom Coughlin ends up getting fired from the Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday. And the reason why TC got fired is because TC was being an old school dick. He was being a dick to his players. He was, basically yesterday or all throughout time, what TC was doing was Tom Coughlin yesterday with Leonard Fournette. He was fining him for sitting on a bench the wrong way. He was fining Leonard Fournette. Venture Varieties here as well. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. We'll talk about the Steelers and the playoffs and everything, okay? But Tom Coughlin in Jacksonville, he drafted Myles Jack. He drafted all these players. So he did a sensational job with drafting players. But the point is with Tom Coughlin is that Tom Coughlin couldn't get a quarterback, and he couldn't establish a culture in Jacksonville, Florida that was worth winning. Doug Marrone is an average, stale old man that's a shitty football coach. He's shitty. And Doug Marrone's going to end up getting fired. I'm telling you guys that Doug Marrone, spoiler alert, is going to get fired. He was shitty in Buffalo. He's shitty in Jacksonville, Florida. All right. So Tom Coughlin, he advanced the ball. He was a great Giants coach, but as a general manager, he didn't communicate with the players that well. Doesn't mean that Jalen Ramsey was a complete savant or a saint, but for Jacksonville, it's going to be better to get rid of Tom Coughlin because Coughlin doesn't adapt. He doesn't get along with his players. He's not the same guy that he was in New York. Garrett Sanders, my man, G. Sanders. Brandon Rogers says, go Seahawks. Well, Brandon, I'm doing well. I like the 49ers more than the Seahawks and a lot of my friends are 49ers fans on here, Brandon. But the thing is about that game is that a lot of people are making a big deal of the San Francisco 49ers losing. A lot of people are making a big deal of the 49ers losing to the Falcons. Can you guys join the show? Maybe. Let me invite you guys into the show. Let's do it. Because let me invite you guys in. You guys, I think I might need y'all's emails or I'll copy it to the clipboard. Oh, yeah. I think I just copied it to the dang clipboard. So did you guys get that? So you guys ready to come on in and we could talk? We could have an old chat here on the show? Let's do it. I'm live on StreamYard. So you guys could, yeah. All right. Oh, Finn Attack appreciates my Josh Allen breakdown. Well, you got it. All right, I copied it to the clipboard. So you guys will be able to come on in here to the show. If you so desire. We've got 15 people here, which I'm very humbled that 15 people are turning into this mofo to watch me on a little Thursday evening show. A Thursday evening show. Anyway, that loss to the Atlanta Falcons doesn't mean shit for the 49ers. They still need to go to Seattle. In fact, if they would have beaten Atlanta, it would have been a worse thing because then you have to win 6 games to win a Super Bowl. It's so hard to go on a winning streak in the NFL. You might as well get your mulligans out of the way. It's like going to a golf course and all your shit drives are at the range instead of on the real golf course. The only games that matter for the 49ers are this week where they should beat Jared Goff and the Rams, who suck ass, because Jared Goff has been sucking all year, and I told you guys Jared Goff would suck, and the Cowboys had a renaissance last week against the Rams, and the Rams aren't the same football team. So the 49ers win against the Rams. The NFC comes down to that Seattle game, because if Seattle beats the Niners, then the New Orleans Saints are the number 1 seed. And then the playoffs, it's a whole haywire situation where then the 49ers then have to go to Philly. They then have to go to the Cowboys. And the 49ers ain't beating the Dallas Cowboys, the New Orleans Saints, and Seattle on the road. As good as they are, nobody's going through that gauntlet. So it comes down to week 17, the game of all games. Let me copy that damn link. Oh gosh. I did it. I copied it. Venture Variety. I must have had some hot chocolate today because usually I'm dead tired. Usually I sleep for 12 hours. I wake up at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. I live like a freaking cretin. I have no life at all. But Josh, thank you. I'm hyped up, got a little caffeine. This isn't my natural personality. Give credit to the Coke. Give credit to a little, not cocaine, but give credit to hot chocolate from Dunkin' Donuts. They put a little whipped cream in there. It is absolutely spectacular. A little frosted donuts. You got to give credit to Dunkin' Donuts for chocolate frosted donuts and a little hot chocolate, which gets you tingling. It gets you excited. But Josh, I really appreciate you, man. And Josh, you're a Buffalo Bills fan. So I want to thank you, Josh Clark, because you, Josh Clark, compliment me on my Josh Allen videos, and the fact that the Buffalo Bills fan base was at the airport after they defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers just for simply making the playoffs, that was batshit crazy in an amazing way. Afghanistan. Thank you so much for the compliments on the Dave Gettleman video. I really want the Giants to actually beat the Washington Redskins this week. I want the Giants to beat the Redskins, and I'll explain why. I want the Giants to beat the Redskins because I want Dave Gettleman to stay. I want him to stick out his future in the National Football League. I want him to remain the Giants general manager because I believe he is building something special. He has attacked the offensive line and the secondary, and I'm not ready to give up on DeAndre Baker. I'm not ready to give up on Sam Beal, who just had a tackle for a safety, and I'm not ready to give up on Corey Ballantyne or Julian Love either. I'm not willing to give up on those players at all. So I need Dave Gettleman to stay. I posted the link here in the description, so you guys can join the show if you want. It could be pretty fun. Don't want to do that. Okay. Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is okay. He's not going to be as good as Drew Lock, and that is fine. He's not going to be as good as Drew Lock. Senor's coming in here. My buddy, Christopher Senor. I've never seen this guy's face ever in my life. I'm very nervous. He doesn't even need to show his face. Chris, how are you? I'm nervous as heck. I've never seen Senor's face before, but he is joining the show. And you don't need to show your face. You can just comment. It's perfectly cool. You can put up a Chargers logo or anything. But Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I'm not obsessed with Daniel Jones. I like that the Giants at least have a quarterback, so we don't have to search for a quarterback. So I like that the Giants have Daniel Jones a lot. I'm really excited about Daniel Jones as a Giants fan. I'm freaking amped. I'm excited. I really like Daniel Jones as a quarterback. I do. Thank you for the like on Facebook.com. We now have 20 people in here combining all different platforms of the show. And Brandon Rogers, my buddy Brandon.
What's up, Rover?
Oh, man. How you doing, man?
How are you doing, man?
It's good. I've never seen your face before, so it's interesting to
Yes,
see what
sir.
my good buddies look like on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
So it looks like you're outside. You on the porch? You playing a little basketball?
I was. I just finished up practice. And I saw you
basketball
live.
practice?
Yes.
Oh, and you said you're from like Minnesota, right?
Yeah. Here, you want to see all the snow right now?
Oh, let's do it.
Look at all this. We got all that snow.
And this
Cold.
is after school.
Yeah.
We got another buddy coming in here. I'm gonna add him, Brandon. A buddy named Mosh. He's a Cowboys fan. He's coming in here too.
I know Mosh.
Yeah. So Brandon, one more thing before we talk to Mosh here. What a design Mosh has in his man cave over there. Brandon, tell me about the Seahawks and why you love the Seahawks from Minnesota.
Oh, so I don't know if I've told you this, but I've told many people in your chat. So basically, in 2010, when they went 7-9 and they made the playoffs and won the division, my dad actually took me out to a game. I think it was early in the season. I remember that. But yeah, and they were the first football team I watched. So yeah,
I like it. So in Minnesota, you went to a Vikings Seahawks.
I don't think it was Vikings Seahawks. I can't remember who they played, but
all right. Stay online. Mosh, how are you, man? Thank you for coming into the stream.
We got the snow over here too. That's a joke, by the way. Man, I know you hate both teams with a passion, but what's your 2 cents on Dallas versus Philly? I just wanted to hear it from an outsider.
Absolutely. Now, I'm not a Cowboys fan, and Brandon, thank you for stopping by. We could always come back.
I know you. Trust me, I'm the CNS, Cowboys Nation Syndicate. I know you're over there with the Mafia and the boys, the Giant fans. Yeah,
I'm a Giants fan, but Mosh, like, I really don't. I mean this in all sincerity. I really don't hate the Dallas Cowboys because I really hate the Philadelphia Eagles, like living in Philly. And all the Cowboys fans are really nice to me. Man. And when I was in Dallas, Texas, you guys have amazing steak, hot women in Texas, and it's an amazing. Like you guys are you're a lot nicer than Eagles fans. Eagles fans will beat the crap out of you. Cowboys fans, they do treat people better than you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I hear you, man.
So I do kind of like the Cowboys, Mosh, and I'm really feeling good. I want the Cowboys to win this division. I honestly do. And y'all played your best football game Sunday.
Yeah, I believe. Was it the past? I can't. This decade we're 10-2 in their house. So the injury report on Dak is. Hey, he's like, hey man, I'm fine. I'm gonna practice, and I'm ready to play Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Dak Prescott sick?
Yeah, he's just minor injuries. He's resting it up.
So Vegas, Charlie Bowles, comments. You guys are favored by 2.5, which the Eagles are playing at home. It still is scary, isn't it, Mosh? Going the Lincoln Financial Field, like it's always really scary. But how do you guys are you still feeling okay about going into Philly, because the Eagles have really sucked against the Redskins and the Giants? So you guys should win, right? But are you still scared about going to the Link?
It's like this is their last. They've got to win. They've got to win. So they're going to give it everything they've got. Which again, that was everything they got was barely enough to beat Giants and Redskins. So. And especially, us coming off the great victory against the Rams, I'm feeling pretty confident. I know it's going to be big NFC East matchup. It's going to be tight, but I'm feeling confident as a Cowboy fan.
No, I'm feeling good too. And by the way, if you all play Seattle or San Fran, your D-line can get after Jimmy Garoppolo. The key is getting Zeke going on the road. I love your Van Der Esch jersey. Is he? I got two questions for you. Is Leighton the Wolf Hunter? Is he going to be back? And then if Dak is not the guy, is Sean White White the backup? I mean, who's the backup quarterback then?
Oh man, that's a mouthful. Dak, he's not going to come out of the game. Straight up, he's not going to come out. Cooper Rush is the backup quarterback, by the way.
And guess what? He has $30 million on the line, right? Yeah.
Van Der Esch will be let's one game at a time. Obviously, if we don't beat Philly, then I'm a Giants fan the next following week to get into playoffs. There's a chance that maybe we could throw him in the playoffs. Me, it's all about the doctors there, and they'll decide on it. Me, with the way Sean Lee's playing right now, we'll see him next year. I don't want to.
This game for the Cowboys fans, if you guys lose, I mean, I think the season, I think that this is pretty much the moment. This is the moment for Jason Garrett. This is the moment for you guys.
Yes.
They don't have any receivers. They only have Greg Ward as their wide receivers. I want to see Chris Richard dial up some blitzes. I'm really rooting for you guys. And I think that it's just about Zeke. And can Zeke get some yards? And then Amari, I'm not sure Amari's going to be back. But listen, if you guys beat the Eagles, you could take some players off against the Redskins. It's all about getting hot. And I know this as a Giants fan. You just got to get hot at the right time. And Mosh, I want to ask you this question. Even if Jason Garrett were to go to the Super Bowl or go to the title game, do you still want him gone regardless of what happens? Do you still want Lincoln Riley regardless of what the heck's going to happen here coming up?
I would put up with Garrett if it was a Super Bowl victory. Other than that, bye.
Even if he wins, I still would want him gone as a Cow. Even if he wins the Super Bowl, I mean that.
Yeah, we just pull a Nick Foles on him. Hey, thanks for winning this. Bye.
You got to be tough. Jerry's got to be tougher love because he's even paid for Zeke. It's not looking too good. He's too kind with just throwing up money to people.
By the way, I'm South of Heaven 88. You seen me in the chat a few minutes ago. But anyway, South of Heaven 88. South of Heaven 88. That's my username.
South of Heaven.
Everybody knows me as Mike Mosh.
So you have a compound there, maybe in the state of Texas. Tell me about this sports bar though, while we still have you on here.
I'm America's team, man. Orlando, Florida. But I've been out to Texas Stadium. I was at the home opener, AT&T Stadium. The 100 and some thousand people, Cowboys, Giants. So I've been to a lot of games, and I'm a diehard fan over here.
Oh, I really, I respect that. And in Florida, like, what are you going to cheer for? The Jaguars or Tampa Bay? So
I've never been a follow the state. I just follow my team.
Right. How about college football?
Don't follow.
Okay. Because there's some good bowl games coming down to Orlando. It's going to be an exciting time, Mosh. I might even be in the Orlando area. I'll tell y'all if you Florida fans of Rover, if you want to meet up, get a drink or something. It was a lot of fun chatting, man.
Oh yeah, man. Peace out, man.
Yo, have a great one, man. Take care. All right.
Peace out.
Go Cowboys. Enjoy it. Let's beat the Eagles.
Fuck Billy.
Keep them out. I'm going to check in and see if my buddy Brandon Rogers is back. That was a fun conversation. Got Charlie Bowles in here on Facebook. He's one of my favorites. I'm so thankful and blessed that Charlie Bowles can join the stream, because the thing is about Charlie Bowles is that Charlie Bowles is a college football gambling expert. I just think he's an expert in all capacities of I think Charlie Bowles is an expert on predicting football. And I really do think that I'll tell you what, I really do think LSU is covering the 13 against Oklahoma, but then I'm not sure LSU will beat Clemson in the title game. We got the angry Buffalo sports fan in the house. Were you at the airport, or do you know anybody that was at the airport during that game? Do you know anybody that was there? That's what I want to know. I'm going to see if Senor wants to come on in here. But do you know anybody that was at that airport celebration? Because it was it was absolutely amazing. Beating the Steelers, getting to the playoffs. I know Charlie's a big Steeler guy, but the fact is, with Pittsburgh and Duck Hodges, I still like Duck Hodges. The defense of Buffalo was just so outstanding. And
Yeah, it's underrated for sure.
oh, Brandon, are you on the stream?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh my gosh. Chris and Brandon are both here. I was wondering what that voice was.
Hey, Rover, let me ask this. I've been waiting to ask you this for like the past 3 weeks now. Do you think Seattle gets the bye?
I gotta stick with like my 49ers Super Bowl pick.
Okay.
But you guys have an amazing chance. If you win against the would you guys win first place or be second to the Saints then?
So we have the tiebreaker in the conference record. Overall, I think we have a 2-game lead in the conference record on them. So we would have the tiebreaker over Green Bay and the Saints.
All right. Yeah, so you guys would be in the second seed, correct?
Hello?
Well, we're in the first seed right now, so I think it all depends on how. I think we have the tiebreaker overall right now over both teams. So
why do you have the top? But Seattle, but the Saints beat you heads up. But do you just you have a better record than them, right?
Well, we're both 11-3, but it's the conference record.
It's not the head-to-head.
No,
it is head-to-head, isn't it? Head-to-head.
No, it's the conference record.
No, because if it is conference, if it's conference, then doesn't that mean the Packers could take one?
Well,
because they're technically above
the 49ers.
They lost to the 49ers, but if they beat the Minnesota Vikings, what they play next week, they hold number one then.
Well,
because if it's not head to head, it's conference.
And the Packers are not beating the Vikings this week. The Packers are not.
Yeah, they would.
They aren't. The Packers are not beating the Vikings.
No, what?
What makes you say that? Think it could be. By the way, I think that game could be closer, Brandon, than you think.
Kirk Cousins is balling this season. He was the biggest Pro Bowl snub.
Kirk, I respect Kirk. I think he's an underrated player. I think he's probably top 5 right now. But the thing is that if he played against probably one of the worst third down defenses, we're the worst third down defense, and he did horrible. He only had 2 big plays really. It was all about the running game with Minnesota. So if I was Packers, I wouldn't watch out for Kirk.
And when did Cook go out last week? Second quarter?
He came out second quarter.
Yeah, and Chris, I just think the Chargers have just quit on Phillip and Anthony Lynn in this season, kind of.
I don't see it.
I think that game could be very close. So do the Packers, if Seattle wins, do the Packers control it all then? Is that what happens if the Pack win?
Oh, if the Packers win, I think they win the division.
Okay, but what about the 1 seed?
They won the division.
No, the 1 seed. So, like I was saying, the Seahawks have both tiebreakers conference record overall.
But Saints could go close to that. I think they could.
It's going to be Saints and then Seattle.
Well, the Saints could lose to the Titans. The Titans are sneaky good.
Nah, they play in the Dome, right?
No, they're playing in Tennessee.
Either way, I still have the Saints. Breeze is hot right now.
I like the Saints as well because Tennessee. I mean, they even let Deshaun Watson go all over them.
Here's a little bit bias. This has a little bit of bias in it, but I think if we get the 1 seed and it runs through Seattle, I think we have a great shot going to the Super Bowl.
Seattle, Brandon, you have to beat Seattle and then the Saints. I don't think the Saints are losing, man. I don't think that's happening.
Pissed off. The Saints are pissed off. They want a Super Bowl badly. They're pissed off. They really want to make it into the Super Bowl.
But the Saints,
Breeze is gonna play his ass off.
Dude, the past few times the Saints have came up to Seattle in the playoffs, it hasn't worked out. Beastquake and then the divisional game,
You're relying on them to lose, though. If you go to New Orleans, man, I don't think anybody's getting out of New Orleans.
I mean, the Rams did it last year.
I think Lambeau too. Lambeau Field, nobody's going out of Lambeau.
No, people could beat the Packers up in Lambeau.
Well, wait, what?
The Packers barely beat the Redskins, and then they barely beat the Bears. They could have lost to the Bears on that lateral. Or well, I guess they still had to go for 2, but still.
I mean,
come on. The Bears weren't in that game at all. You know, the Packers were up double digits. The Bears couldn't make plays. It was classic Bears Packers. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, see, here's the thing about this week's game with the Packers and Vikings. The Vikings are going to be playing for a lot. That defense is still top tier. And, you know, I think it's the Vikings defense can really.
Brandon, I wanted to ask you, so if Minnesota wins both games, and I'm just learning here too, if Minnesota wins both games, do they win the NFC North? We lost Brandon. I'll look at the standings right now because then it's going to come down to divisional record, and Minnesota lost to Chicago. Minnesota still has to go to Chicago. The Green Bay Packers against the Bears are 2-0. They won 2 games there. Against the Lions, the Packers, I also believe they are undefeated. So it looks like the Packers anyway, they're probably a game up on the Vikings. And the Packers, I don't know who they play in week 17, but the Packers are going to win the NFC North. Even if the Vikings win, I think that the Packers can win the NFC North. Alex Sports is here. We have Josh Clark saying that there's a lot of fans in Atlanta that from Buffalo. I think that the Bills, you guys should start booking up your tickets to Houston, because even if you beat the Patriots, this game doesn't really matter because the Patriots are beating the Dolphins anyway. So this game, you're not winning the AFC East. That is just a false lie. But to beat New England in New England, it'll be confidence for Josh Allen going forward. Absolutely. So we have Chris Senior. We have Brandon Rogers. I'll add Brandon back up here to the stream.
Sorry,
Brandon, I was just saying that the Packers are still beating the Vikings in the NFC because even with the win for Minnesota, I still think the Pack own that tiebreak in that division.
Yeah, because they beat them up in Lambeau early. I think it might have been week 2 or week 3-ish, something like that. So,
right.
Yeah, that's true.
So Brandon, are you a big? It's cool you're in Minnesota. Are you a Golden Gopher fan though for football with PJ Fleck?
I do follow the Gophers. It's just I'm not as big into college football, but I did go to the game versus Penn State.
Oh, and that was absolutely fantastic.
Yes, sir.
I'm in Philly, but I love Fleck and the elite culture and row the boat and just everything he stands for.
Oh my gosh, dude, my dad thinks Fleck is one of the cockiest people. It's so funny. But yet he proved him wrong this season. It's great.
So your dad thought Flex full of shit. Like he thought he was corny,
kind of.
all the elite stuff, row the boat, athletically, academically, socially, spiritually. He just thought he was corny, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is your dad a Jerry Kill guy? Is that why?
Huh?
Is your dad like a fan of Kill or the previous regimes?
I mean, I think because we went to it was one of the final games when he was coaching. I don't remember which game it was, but yeah, he really liked him, and he thought Fleck was a bit too cocky in what he brought, but I thought he was a bit cocky at first though, but I kind of liked the energy, but
but he's all about his players, and the Casey O'Brien story is so special. I think he's all for the players, and he ain't leaving Minnesota. He admits that he loves to revamp Minnesota football.
Yeah. Oh, Rover, since you talk about the Cowboys with Mosh, I just wanted to ask you this about Dallas. See, I've been saying Josh McDaniels would fit Dallas perfectly. Do you see that or Urban Meyer?
I don't see that at all, Brandon, because
you don't see McDaniels?
Josh McDaniels, his personality, he rubs people the wrong way. Whether it was the Denver Broncos or what he did with the Indianapolis Colts, he and Jerry Jones, that's like mixing oil and vinegar put together. You have to be a very composed individual. You have to be just scheming people up. And I just think that JMD won't get along with the Joneses at all.
Okay. I mean,
but who was the other guy you mentioned?
Urban Meyer.
Urban. That could be more interesting because at this stage, Urban kind of just wants to coach. I think that would be a pretty good hire. I think Lincoln Riley, though, makes more sense.
Lincoln, okay. Do you see maybe a guy like Harbaugh coming back in the NFL?
Not soon. I think Harbaugh and Michigan's still doing pretty well, and Michigan's not going to get anybody better than Jimmy Harbaugh.
That's true. That's true.
All right, and you guys can choose to show your faces, or you could choose to, show camera if you guys want, or whatever. Chris Senior, I think, is back. Brandon, thanks so much for talking, man. Going to get to a couple of other guests here.
Yes, sir. I got you. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Great stuff. Take care, man. All right, so we got Ventura Variety. He's a big NBA gambler. How are you, Ventura?
I'm good, man. How are you tonight?
Doing well. How you hanging up there in Pittsburgh?
Hanging up here in Pittsburgh, man. I'm not confident after that Bills game. Your Bills defense is looking pretty lights out, man. I got to give them credit.
Yeah,
that secondary.
I know I cover a lot of Bills stuff on here. I'm a Giants fan, but I mean, the Bills D. It just they took away they took away like James Washington and Vance not being there. There just wasn't anywhere to throw the damn ball.
I know. No Juju, neither. And then our running back situation, I think our offensive coordinator is terrible. Randy Fichtner, it seems like he can't make a play call to save his life. It's like we go first down, we run the ball. Second down, we run the ball. And then it's like we're in third and long all game, man. And it's just, I don't know. I think the Steelers need to get a new offensive coordinator at this point. And I honestly think it might be time for Big Ben to retire, because we have so many cap problems. And Shannon Sharp even's come out and said Big Ben Roethlisberger, he's not a leader, which he isn't. Like last year, he threw an interception to a defensive lineman, and it is like ridiculous. He called out the coaching staff. He called out Antonio Brown for running a wrong route, whatever. It's like, dude, you threw the game-losing interception to a defensive lineman. Just own it, I mean.
Yeah, the thing is about Ben is he sure would be an upgrade like over any of these guys, and I like Duck Hodges actually a lot, and I'm really happy that they're staying with Duck over Mason, because Mason is just too slow. At least Duck can get out of the pocket, and the Bills just have a tremendous defense, but so do the Steelers. The Minkah Fitzpatrick trade, I criticized it because you guys do need a quarterback at some point. But Minkah Fitzpatrick is I think he's the defensive player of the year in the NFL right now. So
I know TJ Watt's getting a lot of hype especially in Steelers outlets and stuff. TJ Watt's definitely getting a lot of hype for it. And let me ask you this question. I don't know,
too. That defense is great. Go ahead.
But I know Bud Dupree, we have cap problem issues. That's my thing with Ben. He's coming off this elbow injury. So I don't know if he's going to be the same or not. He's like 38. He definitely looked out of shape on the sidelines last week. There's so many viral pictures going around of Ben. But I know we're probably not going to be able to re-sign Bud Dupree. He's having kind of a breakout year. I know the Giants. I know a lot of you Giants people are saying you want to move to the 4-3, but do you think, I don't know what the Giants cap space is looking like, but would you think Bud Dupree would be a good fit for the New York Giants?
Yeah, and Dupree's been very inconsistent, right? He started out great, and then he's kind of had 2 weaker years.
This first good year, pretty much, but he's having a breakout year. He's fast as hell. He was running down Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray was getting the edge, and he's a very good speed rusher. So I don't know, I heard you hyping up your defensive line. It's a good defensive line, so I don't know, he might be a good fit. And if you draft Chase Young, put them both at the outside linebacker position, Chase Young, Bud Dupree, that Giants defense might turn around, get a couple.
You're absolutely right with the 4-3, and Marcus Golden's kind of fast too. But I mean, the guy might want like $16 million or like 15 mil, right?
I mean, yeah, that could be. That's kind of the going rate, they say, for edge rushers. I know if he franchise tag,
I'm all for it if he's that fast, because the interior of the line is actually not that bad for the Giants. So kind of all for it.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, can James Conner get going? And, I like Devlin Hodges. It's unbelievable, that you guys, I think that Chad Kelly, you guys should have tried to make a move for him, though. He's the one quarterback that I think could have really helped this situation.
I don't know. I mean, they basically drafted Mason Rudolph to be the guy for the future. I've been kind of pro Mason this whole time. I can't believe we're winning with Duck Hodges right now, but we're mostly winning with defense right now, basically. I mean, that's
the defense is so good. If you guys should beat the Jets though this week. It is a tricky game going there. The Jets have beaten good teams at home. I am worried that the Jets defense is going to play so well. What do you see about this Jets game then coming up?
I think that's going to be a thing. They're like, what, second in the league? I know they were going into that Ravens game. They were second in the league at stopping the run. So, I mean, the Steelers haven't really been able to establish the run. So it makes me think Devlin Hodges is going to have to beat the Jets with his arm. And I just don't. I'm nervous about this game. We're only a 3-point favorite, and the Jets, they're not that good, and we're only a 3-point favorite. I mean, we're going into New York. They don't have too many playmakers, and their offensive line is not that good. So I think, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to have a pocket to stand in. So basically, if we can cut down,
Watt is just so good. Even what you guys are doing with Josh Allen, and also just like causing so many fumbles. And Le'Veon Bell is so pissed off. The Jets players are all kind of upset. You got to get up. You got to get up on them early. And Duck just has to hit some deep throws. And last week, when I watched the Bills defense, there was just nobody open. And Duck is an all right quarterback. Like he's fine. He's mobile enough. He's accurate enough. He's not a franchise guy, but you might even be able you should get to the wild card with this kid.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Titans, that's the thing. The Titans play the Saints. So we're rooting for this. As a Steeler fan, we're rooting for the Saints, obviously this weekend. We're both tied. But say if the Titans win this week and we lose, I mean, that puts them ahead of us.
Trouble.
I mean, we're out of it. And then we play the Ravens last game of the week. Or last game of the year. I don't know if we're going to be able to. If they're not sitting their starters, the Ravens, I think, are the best team in the AFC. And I hate it.
By the way, even if they sit their dang starters, like RG3 isn't terrible, and it's in Baltimore, and they're still going to enjoy spoiling you with whatever they're going to give. But if the Saints win, right, which I could see the Saints beating the Titans, the Saints need that 1 seed. So if the Saints beat Tennessee and y'all beat the Jets, is it over?
It's not over, because then say if we lose to the Ravens and they beat the Texans, then that would knock us out due to strength of schedule. So because you guys are tied with the Titans now. Yeah. So if we would say if they lose to the Saints or they beat the Saints or whatever, they lose to the Saints, we lose to the Jets, and we lose to the Ravens and they beat the Texans or whatever, how it goes. If we finish with the same schedule, we would have the same conference record, but it would be strength of schedule. So
I would love Ducky it would be Ducky and Arrowhead against freaking Mahomes and the Chiefs a team that looks outstanding.
I think they just picked up Terrell Suggs too. So
and the Titans always beat the Chiefs, but you know what, y'all? I'll tell you what's very important is you guys need Jameis Winston to keep balling. Like Jameis Winston is going to be back in Tampa, and I know that Godwin's out. But say Tampa at home can beat a Houston team that's very inconsistent, Houston will play tough against the Titans for you.
That's I did see that. A lot of people were saying scared about the Texans possibly sitting their starters at the last game of the year. But if we do play the Chiefs in the playoffs, I don't see the Steelers having any chance in the world. We can't put up more than like 20 points a game. I mean, Devlin's all right. He's serviceable, but I don't know. That game, it just makes
Connor take over a game running the football. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think it is. If he's healthy, if he's good and healthy, he can definitely take over the game. That's the thing. He's injury prone. Every game of the year, every year that he's played in the NFL, he's been hurt. Same with Vance McDonald. He's been hurt every single year of his career. He's hurt. I know PFF had him ranked as like a top 10 tight end in the league. I just don't see it. I just don't see Vance McDonald as being that
I just think Vance is just too soft too. Like he's not a great blocker.
Yeah, that's another thing. That we picked up that boy from Seattle for 5th round pick, Vanett. He hasn't really done much, but he basically was brought in to be a blocker and somebody. But I mean, I don't know.
You know what's crazy, Ventura, is like I had mixed feelings on Mike Tomlin, like when he was 1-4, like it could have really been a new coach in here, and then like the Ben injury is actually the best thing that happened to Mike Tomlin, because if Tomlin goes out there and he goes 8-8 with Ben Roethlisberger, and you mentioned it about Ben and him not being a leader, then the Rooneys might have wanted to find a new coach with the new quarterback. So this year's been just a blessing for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. I think Mike Tomlin, I think he gets a lot of negative feet. I don't know what, because we have so much talent, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, But if you really look at Mike Tomlin's statistics, like he has he's like top 15 all time in win-loss percentages. He's like one up there. He's like 25th all time in wins, and he's only like in his 40s. So he has so much more years left. If the Steelers fired him, like even the Washington Redskins were saying it, like earlier in the season, they were saying they was going to try to trade like draft picks for Mike Tomlin. So if the Steelers do trade or fired Mike Tomlin, I think a team would grab. Just his resume is speaks for itself.
When you're there that long, though, that's the thing. You might want like a change of scenery. I know that you guys like never fire head coaches, but Tomlin
like
Tomlin's really done a sensational job this year with the hand that he's been dealt, and this defense is truly special. And for Ben, Ben needed to clean up his reputation after the Atlanta situation, and he just never goes on any podcasts. He's never out there in the media. Eli and Phillip are very well liked, and Ben, is a Hall of Famer. He's a historic football player, but at the same time, he just doesn't do shit with the media. And I know that he hosted the wide receivers at his lake house, but it still was a horrible situation with Ben. Like, Ben just needs to talk to the media more, basically.
Yeah, he did have, like, that's the thing. He got a lot of, he kind of went away with that because he doesn't really do like the mainstream, but he did have his own radio show in Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh, they keep a lot of their media, a lot of their stuff in-house. Everything in Pittsburgh, it's in-house. There's like radio stations. It's called Steeler Nation Radio. There's a lot of insiders, like last year, Jeremy Fowler every year come out with a news story. Le'Veon Bell's coming back this week. Le'Veon Bell's coming back this week. And like, really, it was all, he was just selling that stuff to get his name out there, to get his brand out there. Like Jeremy Fowler's not really a Steelers insider. There's a lot of other guys like a Tunch Ilkin that not too many people outside of Pittsburgh know. Craig Wolfley, a lot of dudes. Them are like the dudes that are legit on the sidelines and in with the franchise. They played with the franchise. And the Steelers, that's the thing. They like to keep everything in-house, and that's why a lot of people wanted to get rid of Antonio Brown. A lot of people were fed up with Le'Veon Bell. In Pittsburgh, it's just different, man. We're a small market, and it's just different, man, compared to like New York or,
Yeah. Well, Ventura, man, it was really fun talking to you. I can't wait to even talk to you during basketball season, right? You give a plug for what you do with basketball, with the NBA.
I don't know, man. I just every once in a while I do game picks. I have another channel I've been doing mostly Pittsburgh stuff on, Yins Nation Sports. So if anybody's out there on YouTube, follow me on Yins Nation Sport on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Thanks for letting me on, bro.
Oh, dude, it was a blast. I really like your team this year. I do like the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, Ventura is a good guy. And it's a very likable team because, it's an underdog team. With Mason Rudolph as the quarterback, without Big Ben, they've usually been a powerhouse, but this year it's just Mike Tomlin. It's TJ Watt. It's a team getting over 1-4, getting over adversity. It's a team coming together with Minkah Fitzpatrick. Usually I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they are the underdog in that division. You had the Cleveland Browns talking all this smack before the season. The Ravens are the Ravens. There's no need to feel sorry for Baltimore. They're the best team in football. Scott Blakely, I'll analyze some of these great comments here on YouTube. I think Buffalo going to Houston will win that game. And then I believe it will be Buffalo against the Ravens in the divisional round. And it's going to be a tough game. But first of all, when the Bills go down to Houston, Texas, the Bills are going to be there's going to be even more Bills fans probably at that game. And if the Bills win a playoff game, could you imagine? I don't think that Dalton or Phillip Rivers to the Patriots, if Tom Brady ends up leaving, they selected Jarrett Stidham for a reason. So Stidham could be the heir apparent. Now I could see a Marcus Mariota going to the Patriots. Cam Newton, probably not. It depends on what they think about Jarrett. but Jarrett was a guy with so much talent at Auburn. He did have a lot of talent. He had Chip Lindsey and Gus Malzahn arguing all the time. I really think Jarrett Stidham is a guy with a quick release. He's mobile, and he's a talented quarterback. And I'm shocked that the Cincinnati Bengals and the Carolina Panthers passed on Jarrett Stidham, and I'm shocked that he was a fourth-round guy like he was. I don't think everyday comments that Buffalo can win the next two and the Patriots can lose the next two. Why would Ryan Fitzpatrick ever go into New England and ever win a game there? The odds of them doing that, Miami would be a 14-point dog doing that, and that would be just absolutely shocking. Now, the Bills could win and get to 12-4, which would look really good. So yeah, Bills fans should absolutely hope for a W, and the Bills defense should shut down the Patriots because Edelman's one of their only receivers, N'Keal Harry. Just stop the running game of Sony Michel, and you guys will hang in there. Now, is Josh Allen going to generate any offense with Smokey Brown and Cole Beasley? Who knows? I really like what I see from Singletary. He has great instincts. He hits the hole. He has great vision and patience. He has all those things as a back, but he just can't hang on to the ball. And I did like how Shawnee McDermott kept Singletary in, even with the fumbles, because the young kid has to grow. And Singletary has to help out Josh Allen in this game. And it's going to be close because this Bills defense is going to play him tough. So I think that 6 points is way too many for the Patriots. I think it's a lot of points. Oh, gosh, but I still see Buffalo losing. I really do. It's just the hurdle of Foxborough with a young team, with Dawson Knox very spotty in the passing game. It's just the Patriots and the Patriots defense. They have a great secondary, so it's going to be really tough to go in there and win. Interesting. The Chiefs and Ravens could be 1-2. Yeah, that could be fascinating. Entertainer Talking Sports, thanks so much, man, for making it to the stream. I want to get you on for an episode soon, man. And Tainer is a freaking beast. And he was on Cop Pizzle show the other night. Tainer was also talking about Gettleman. Is he going to be back? I think, Tainer, that the Giants are beating the Redskins anyway. I still think Chase Young is absolutely going to be attending the NFL draft. So there's so many interesting Giants stuff that you can check out on the Entertainers channel. Tom Coughlin is now out of Jacksonville. Is Tommy Coughlin going to come back? That's another topic there. I appreciate his channel a lot. I want Dave Gettleman to stay. I said that at the beginning of the show. I want Gettleman to continue. And if the Giants cannot get Ron Rivera or Matt Rule, and if Lincoln Riley's still out of the picture, then the Giants don't have to hurry up and fire Shurmur just to hire a Mike McCarthy that had Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not the biggest McCarthy guy. You don't just fire Shurmur if you don't have somebody locked and loaded. And that's what Giants fans have. That's what the ownership have to do. They have to go to Waco, Texas, and they have to interview Matt Rule and ask Matt Rule if he is interested in the job. The Giants ownership needs to go to Norman, Oklahoma, and ask Lincoln Riley, Lincoln, are you interested in the job? Yes or no? Hey, Ron, would you want to work with Gettleman? Would you be interested in the Giants job? And if all three guys say no, then you can keep Shurmur for another year to get to 7 wins. What's the hurry then to hire a crappy, mediocre shit coach? You need to do your due diligence this week. Immediately, the ownership better be checking on their options, okay? And I don't think the owners want to fire Shurmur. So this game for Pat Shurmur with Daniel Jones projected to start, this is a big game for the Giants. And by the way, for everybody that says you want to lose Chase Young, want to tank for Chase, the Bengals can take Chase Young. your young guys will then have a 3-13 season, which totally sucks. It means that DeAndre Baker and Sam Bill will continue to play poorly. I want to see these young guys win. I want to see Gettleman stay. I want a little bit of continuity. I want to win. I want to win. So, Scotty and and guess what? Mosh wants the Giants to win as well because Mosh needs the Giants to beat the Eagles anyway. So those are kind of my thoughts on the Giants, on Dave Gettleman in particular. Guys, it was a pleasure doing the show. We're 50 minutes into the damn show. Scott, I think you might have won my fantasy league. I didn't check out the dynasty league that we all had together. Rogue Dog has joined the stream as well. I'm live on Facebook, have a new Periscope channel. It was an absolute pleasure doing the show today. If Gettleman stays, who do you think is the most likely candidate to be the head coach? I think that Riverboat Ron would be the most likely. Ron would be the most likely. If not Ron, then it could be Matt Rule. But actually, Matt Rule says he wants Gettleman out. And if Matt Rule wants Gettleman out, then you got to hire Matt Rule. And then I understand, even though I'm a Gettleman guy, Matt Rule's just that special that you'd have to make reservations for Matt and maybe remove Dave or send Dave to another role. Anyway, guys, I am out. 50 minutes deep. You guys can listen to the show. Big thanks to everybody who stopped by. Fun chatting. I am out. It has been a blast. Thank you all for listening to the show.